Greetings, everybody, wherever you may be, and welcome once again to French Guiana, the home of the Ariane family, for this evening's launch of Vega. Vega, the newest member of Europe's launch family, tonight making her second flight from the spaceport. Glad to have you with us for the event. Joshua Jempel here with Enrico Possamay. Enrico from ESA, he's based in Kourou, and systems manager on CNES CSG facilities. Enrico, small satellites, but a big mission tonight.
Good evening, Joshua. Yes, definitely a great day for the second launch of Vega. Let me give a great benvenuto to all the Italian community who is watching us.
You saw the green status panels on the left signaling all is fine on board, and the countdown is proceeding normally. Take a look at the launch vehicle. Vega has 4 stages using both solid and liquid propellant. The first 3 stages run on solids and the 4th on a liquid propellant system. The 4th stage is also reignitable, very important, and we'll see that in action later on. We'll be describing each stage in turn as it's functioning.
Yes, Vega is specifically designed to launch light, mini and micro satellites. It is complementary to Ariane 5 and Soyuz, which lift off heavier payloads. The 4 stages are stacked on top of each other on the launch pad and then checked under the mobile gantry. The payload composite is mounted atop the vehicle about 7 days before launch. Since then, the 4th stage has been fueled and now Vega is ready for liftoff.
Over 1,000 people from 40 European countries and industries have worked on development of the Vega launcher. It's an interesting story. We'll have time to share some of it with you later on. But for now, a first look at the passengers.
Yes, the upper passenger under the fairing is Proba V. The V stands for vegetation because the satellite maps the land cover and the vegetation grows on Earth. This is built by a Belgian firm, Kinetic Space.
VinRedSat-1, Vietnam's natural resources, environment, and disaster monitoring satellite, built by Astrium for Vietnam's Academy of Sciences and Technology. VinRedSat, an Earth observation satellite, and the first commercial payload to be launched by Vega. And the final passenger, EstCube-1, designed and built by students at the University of Tartu in Estonia, under supervision of the Estonian National Space Office, the nation's first satellite. It'll measure electric forces for use on solar sails. We're going to see again the green status panels. What they are is a green, red, go, no-go summary of everything it takes to launch. All is green, so we are in business.
It indicates the status of the means necessary for the mission. It's for the launcher, for example, its ground facilities, the safeguard, the weather forecast, and the satellites. When it's green, everything is fine, but when it's red, the countdown is stopped and we aren't able to launch.
More in a moment, but for now, the latest news from Arianespace, the first of 2 parts. We'll be back with the mission in a moment. On April 3rd, the French government named Jean-Yves Le Gall president of CNES, France's national space agency. During the 12 years of his presidency at Arianespace, Ariane 5 launched successfully 54 straight times, and Soyuz and Vega began to fly from French Guiana. On April 22nd, the Arianespace Board of Directors praised the number of launches carried out in 2012, as well as the number of contracts signed. 2012 turnover was 1.3 billion euros and profit 1.7 million. The board named Stéphane Israël the new chairman and CEO of Arianespace. Change at the top at Arianespace. Jean-Yves Le Gall taken over direction of CNES after 12 eventful years at the head of Arianespace, where lots happened, including development of Vega. Moving into the #1 spot at Arianespace, Stéphane Israël, from whom we'll be hearing in just a moment. But before we do, what's the most important thing that you think people should know about Vega?
I think people should be aware that Vega development represents not only a technical challenge but also a human one. A new industrial organization has been implemented with 2 Italian prime contractors who acquired a launch system development knowledge. Their people came over the ocean here in Kourou to build a launch pad, and here at the European Spaceport there are more and more Europeans. As promised, over to the new man at Arianespace now, Stéphane Israël.
Welcome to the Guyana Space Center, Europe's spaceport, for this launch of Vega. Tonight's launch is an important event. First for me, because I'm beginning my new position as chairman and CEO of Arianespace. I'd like to start by saluting my predecessor, Jean-Yves Le Gall, who for over a decade has led this company to the great successes we all know.
It's also an important event since Vega is the third launcher operated by Arianespace after Ariane and Soyuz. This launcher takes satellites to low Earth orbit and is particularly well suited to scientific and Earth observation missions. I'd also like to especially thank our customers for tonight's launch. These are missions dedicated to the environment and to sustainable development. ESA is our customer for Proba V, Astrium is our client for VinRedSat-1 in a partnership with Vietnam, and Estonia is our customer for S-Cube-1, which marks the entry of that nation into the ranks of the Global Space Club. I'd also like to thank the space agencies with whom we work, ESA, the European Space Agency, CNES, the French Space Agency, and the Italian Space Agency, ASI. I'd equally like to thank all the men and women who have worked so hard to make this mission possible, for their efforts here at the space base, and for their months and years of dedication to the design and development of the Vega launcher. Nothing would be possible without them, and I offer them all my heartfelt thanks and appreciation for their work so well done. To our customers, let me say again that Arianespace will always be with them, bringing the best possible service when they need it, meeting all their needs. Now, let's watch the second launch of Vega from the Guyana Space Center. Enjoy the flight.
Stefan Israel, 42 years old, married, 3 children, trained as a lawyer initially, working in the aeronautics industry since 2007, including here at Astrium. He's down there in what we call the Flight Directorate. This is Arianespace High Command. With him, Louis Laurent, who's the Senior VP for Programs, and Edward Perez, the living technical memory of Arianespace, the top technical officer. And with them, Patrick Loire, head of the Arianespace facilities here in Kourou. Should anything unexpected arise during the mission, these gentlemen will decide what to do about it. You'll see them on the phones. We're coming to you live, as always, from the Jupiter Mission Control Center, the heart and nerve center of the space base.
In the next film, my boss, ESA Director General Jean-Jacques Dordain, will give us a rundown on everything that will be part of this mission.
Alors ce soir, nous réunissons 4 événements importants pour l'ESA.
Tonight we have in one launch 4 important events for ESA.
C'est le deuxième vol de
First important event is the second launch for Vega, but it is not the repetition of the first flight, which was a great success last year. There are new elements on board,
nouveau programme de vol.
both a new flight program and a new system for multi-payload launches. It is also the first of a series of 5 promotional launches, and then this is the first Vega launch where operations have been transferred to Arianespace.
Deuxième événement important.
Second important event is the presence on board of the ESA satellite Proba V, which not only has technological innovations, but also an instrument for operational service. The Proba family, which is now well underway under the leadership of Belgian industry, is a series that has allowed us, after 2 launches, to demonstrate that we could be at the same time bold on technology with perfect reliability, since these satellites are still operational well beyond all expectations. What's new is that this time there is on board an operational instrument, vegetation, to monitor vegetation evolution across the planet.
Le troisième événement, c'est la présence.
Third event, the presence of an Estonian satellite. It's the first satellite in space for this country. It highlights cooperation between ESA and Estonia.
Enfin,
The
quatrième
fourth event, the presence of a commercial satellite for Vietnam, marking the start of Vega's commercial career. I wish you all a great
passez
evening.
une bonne soirée.
Have you heard, Josh? Many first times outline this launch. But quite normal if you think that Vega means Veicolo Europeo di Generazione Avanzata, in English, European Vehicle of Advanced Generation. Vega is a precursor. We are on the way to the future of launchers.
Right. Flight Directorate, this time on the Vega side, Antoni Fabrizi and Stefano Bianchi of ESA. We had a last weather check at minus 10 minutes, right? What did they tell you?
Yes, people heard about the last weather checks at minus 10 minutes. It's a crucial moment to go through the automatic final sequence. Everything is still green.
A word on our 3 customers now. We'll be hearing from Thomas Panazzo of Arianespace.
As Italian, I'm particularly proud to be the ProbaV and Venerdesat 1 program manager of this second Vega launch, the first commercial of the light launcher of the Arianespace fleet. There's been quite a lot of challenge along the path from the very beginning of the mission preparation almost 2 years ago to the actual launch tonight. But I have to say that for this mission more than ever, it has been thanks to the commitment, hard work and strong spirit of collaboration between ESA, Arianespace, ELV, Avio and all the industrial working on the launch base that we could be ready for the launch tonight. 3 missions on board this second Vega launch. ProbaV for the European Space Agency. The satellite will be separated at 820 km altitude and will provide precious data for the monitoring of the evolution of the climate as well vegetation. Venerdesat 1 for the end customer, the Vietnam Academy of Science and Technology, from an altitude of 680 kilometers, will be able to generate prediction to monitor and anticipate natural disaster over Vietnam. Finally, S-Cube, the first Estonian satellite, will test in orbit the new technology of solar sails. 3 different missions which confirm the flexibility of the Vega launcher in satisfying 3 different customer needs. 2 new nations tonight, Estonia and Vietnam, will have in orbit the first scientific payload, and as you can see, this is just the beginning of a new adventure. Vega is ready to serve all the customers of the world in their low Earth orbit mission. Long life to ProbaV, Venerdesat, S-Cube and Vega.
ESA's role in this flight, the second Vega flight, is a little different from its role on the first mission a year ago.
Yes. As for the maiden flight, ESA is here with the Launcher Directorate for Vega. But tonight we welcome also our colleagues of ESTEC as a client. They are managing the ProbaV satellite.
So you can say basically that we've gone from a development phase, which was the first flight in February of last year, to development, from development to operational or even commercial phase. We have a reference, which is the first flight, but there are still elements that we're checking out to be qualified today. We'll look at those later. For now,
take a look now at what we call the launch campaign, or how the Vega is put together.
The campaign began on January 25th with the transfer of Vega's first stage, the P-80, from the booster integration building here at the space base to the launch zone. Here it was placed on the launch table. The Zefiro 23 and the Zefiro 9, Vega's second and third stages, were integrated to the P-80 on February 15th and 20th. Then the upper stage, called the Avum, was mated atop them on March 9th. The vehicle was checked and the Avum upper stage filled with its propellant. The 3 satellites arrived by air on March 9th at the airport in Cayenne and were taken by road to the space base and the specially dedicated payload preparation buildings. ProbaV was placed on its adapter, then transferred to the satellite integration building called S5. The second passenger, Venerdesat 1, was assembled on its separation system, and its tanks were filled with fuel on April 9th. Satellite teams carry out all these operations in specially designed clean rooms here at the Guiana Space Center.
Gordon, and we'll see that in action later on. We'll be describing each stage in turn as it's functioning.
Yes, Vega is specifically designed to launch light mini and micro satellites. It is complementary to Ariane 5 and Soyuz, which lift off heavier payloads. The 4 stages are stacked on top of each other on the launch pad and then checked under the mobile gantry. The payload composite is mounted atop the vehicle about 7 days before launch. Since then, the 4th stage has been fueled and now Vega is ready for liftoff.
Over 1,000 people from 40 European countries and industries have worked on development of the Vega launcher. It's an interesting story. We'll have time to share some of it with you later on. But for now, a first look at the passengers.
Yes, the upper passenger under the fairing is ProbaV. The V stands for vegetation because the satellite maps the land cover and the vegetation growth on Earth. This is built by a Belgian firm, Kinetic Space.
Venerdesat 1, Vietnam's natural resources, environment, and disaster monitoring satellite, built by Astrium for Vietnam's Academy. Greetings, everybody, wherever you may be, and welcome once again to French Guiana, the home of the Ariane family, for this evening's launch of Vega. Vega, the newest member of Europe's launch family, tonight making her second flight from the spaceport. Glad to have you with us for the event. Joshua Jempel here with Enrico Possamay. Enrico from ESA, he's based in Kourou, and systems manager on Kness CSG facilities. Enrico, small satellites, but a big mission tonight.
Good evening, Joshua. Yes, definitely a great day for the second launch of Vega. Let me give a great benvenuto to all the Italian community who is watching us.
You saw the green status panels on the left signaling all is fine on board, and the countdown is proceeding normally. Take a look at the launch vehicle. Vega has 4 stages using both solid and liquid propellant. The first 3 stages run on solids and the 4th on a liquid propellant system. The 4th stage is also reignitable, very important.